Let's agree on something right away. The fear of being judged by others is rarely about other people. Deep down, what really paralyzes you is that sharp internal dialogue full of criticism, insecurity, and a constant need for external validation. It's as if a single sideways glance activates an inner courtroom, ready to sentence your authenticity before you even try. Maybe you felt this before. Rejection hurts more than it should. Praise goes straight to your head, and your self-confidence keeps fluctuating like bad Wi-Fi. After the old cycle of people-pleasing comes in, you please to be accepted. You shape yourself to fit. You silence your desires to avoid conflict. And the price is usually high-low self-esteem, loss of identity, and zero emotional freedom. The good news? You can step out of this game. When you strengthen self-awareness, learn emotional regulation, create clear boundaries, and build self-love, judgment loses its power. Not because it disappears, but because you develop enough emotional resilience to stop abandoning yourself in the process. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about step by step. Don't let other people's judgment paralyze you. Other people's judgment only paralyzes you when you hand at the steering wheel of your life. Criticism and judgmental looks are part of existing, but they don't have to define your choices. When insecurity speaks louder, you freeze. You postpone dreams. You start doubting things that once felt right. The truth is simple and uncomfortable. Criticism, rejection, and unsolicited opinions will always exist. Marcus Aurelius understood this long ago when he said, "The obstacle is the way." What bothers you can become training for emotional control and self-confidence if you're willing to let discomfort be your teacher. The problem was never judgment itself. The problem was letting it shape your identity. When you build self-awareness and self-love, external noise loses volume. The question shifts from what will they think to does this make sense to me? And that opens space for more authenticity and much less fear of making mistakes. Dependence on external approval, people-pleasing. When criticism hurts too much and praise inflates your ego just as fast something there deserves attention. This usually points to dependence on external validation, as if your personal value were always in someone else's hands. The problem is that this emotional roller coaster drains your energy and weakens your self-esteem. People-pleasing often comes from fear of rejection. You start saying yes when you want to say no. You adjust your opinions. You swallow discomfort. You slowly reshape yourself just to fit. Little by little, authenticity gets pushed aside, and self-confidence becomes dependent on approval. A simple exercise can help break this cycle. Before pleasing someone, ask yourself, does this respect my limits? Writing down what you did by choice and what you did out of fear of disappointing already activates self-awareness. This small act begins to bring emotional power back to where it always belonged. To you, other people's judgment is temporary. It feels like everyone is watching, commenting, and analyzing your every move, but that's a common illusion created by insecurity. Reality is far less dramatic. People judge, comment, and then move on with their lives. Most judgments don't last more than a few minutes in the mind of the person judging. You're not the main character in anyone else's life, as strange as that may sound at first. Everyone is too busy dealing with their own inner criticism, fears, and emotional bills. Understanding this brings immediate emotional freedom and reduces the weight of rejection. A great emotional control exercise is to notice how often you remember other people's mistakes. Probably almost never. The same forgetting happens with you. When that realization lands, self-confidence grows and the need for external validation starts fading naturally. Trust yourself more than you trust others. If there's one thing that changes the self-esteem game, it's understanding this. Your opinion of yourself must matter more than any external judgment. When you outsource that power, you become a hostage to criticism and approval. Self-trust is a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. Start with simple, powerful questions. What do I think about this? Did I like the result? Did I do my best with the resources I had? These questions shift the focus from external validation to self-awareness, strengthening confidence from the inside out. You are the highest authority in your own life, even when you make mistakes. Books like The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey reinforce this personal responsibility. Slowly, you stop abandoning yourself just to fit and start acting with more authenticity and self-love. Don't take everything personally. A criticism only truly hurts when it touches something inside you that was already sensitive. If it doesn't align with your values, beliefs, or inner truth, it simply doesn't stick. Judgment loses strength when it finds no place to settle. A lot of emotional pain comes from unconsciously agreeing with someone else's opinion. Sometimes something hurts not because it's true, but because it touches an old insecurity. Working on self-awareness helps you separate other people's projections from what truly deserves reflection. A practical filter is asking 3 questions. Is this true? Is this useful? Does this belong to me? If the answer is no, let it go. This simple habit strengthens emotional control, protects self-esteem, and reduces the need for external validation. Free yourself from your own judgments. Most of the time, the harshest judgment doesn't come from outside, it comes from within. That internal voice, impatient, critical, unforgiving, is often the main saboteur of self-esteem. When you treat yourself like an enemy, any external opinion becomes ammunition. It's common to project onto others what you already believe about yourself. If there's insecurity, fear of rejection, or beliefs of not being enough, the world seems to confirm it constantly. Healing these internal beliefs completely changes how you perceive other people's opinions. Simple practices help here. Writing down automatic thoughts, questioning them, and replacing them with more realistic ones strengthens self-awareness. Books like The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz are powerful allies. The less you judge yourself, the more self-love, authenticity, and emotional freedom you build. Be careful with toxic environments and relationships. Not all criticism is constructive, and not every environment deserves access to your energy. People who live in constant judgment end up contaminating your mind with doubt, fear, and insecurity. Prolonged exposure to this quietly weakens self-esteem. Creating distance is not weakness. It's self-love in action. Cutting ties, reducing contact, or changing environments may be necessary to protect your emotional resilience. Places where rejection is constant and validation never comes charged too high a price. Clear boundaries are a mature form of emotional control. Saying no, changing the subject, or simply leaving are skills built with practice. Healthy environments support self-awareness, authenticity, and reduce dependence on external validation. Learn to be ridiculous and imperfect. Everyone is weird at some level, and that's more liberating than it sounds. Trying to look flawless only increases insecurity and fear of judgment. When you accept your own weirdness, authenticity has room to breathe and self-esteem relaxes. The pursuit of perfection is often a disguised attempt to avoid criticism and rejection. But perfection freezes you. It blocks spontaneity. Where there's no room for mistakes, there's no learning and no emotional resilience. Laughing at yourself is a powerful emotional regulation exercise. Allowing yourself to fail, test, and look ridiculous strengthens self-love and reduces the need for validation. The less serious you are with yourself, the lighter the path becomes. Strengthen your nervous system and practice self-care. Fears, blocks, and intense reactions are not flaws, they're protection mechanisms. The body reacts before the mind, especially when there's a history of criticism, rejection, or insecurity. Understanding this brings compassion and strengthens self-esteem. Self-care goes far beyond aesthetics or perfect routines. It means respecting your limits, resting when needed, and not forcing yourself into emotionally draining environments. Simple practices like conscious breathing, walking outdoors, or daily reading support emotional regulation. The more you invest in self-awareness, the stronger your emotional resilience becomes. Books like The Body Keeps the Score by Bessel van der Kolk deepen this understanding. A regulated nervous system reduces the impact of judgment and the constant search for validation. You can't control others, but you can control your reaction. There's no emotional control technique that can stop people from criticizing, judging, or rejecting you. People will think whatever they want, and that's completely out of your control. Wasting energy trying to control others only increases insecurity and exhaustion. Real power lies in choosing how you react and how much weight you give external judgment. When you know yourself, filter opinions, and protect your boundaries, your reaction changes. You stop over-explaining. You stop justifying yourself. You stop chasing validation. Don't abandon yourself to fit someone else's expectations. Every time you silence yourself to avoid criticism, your self-esteem pays the price. Staying loyal to yourself strengthens self-love and authenticity and prepares you to close this journey with awareness. The core message: amid all the judgment, criticism, and external noise, the shift happens when you choose to listen to yourself more. Trusting your intuition requires self-awareness and practice, but it gives something essential back: the feeling of being whole. When you listen to yourself, external validation stops being a priority. Trusting yourself doesn't mean having absolute certainty, it means moving forward despite fear. Self-confidence grows when you act aligned with your values, even while shaking. Not taking everything personally protects self-esteem and prevents rejection from defining your next steps. Being authentic, imperfect, and emotionally free is an ongoing process. Protecting your boundaries and your dreams is a daily act of self-love and emotional control. The more you choose yourself, the lighter life becomes. And that's where true emotional freedom begins. Now it's your turn. After all this, pause for a moment and look inward. How many decisions in your life are still guided by other people's judgment? In which moments do you abandon yourself out of fear of criticism, rejection, or a lack of validation? These answers aren't here to blame you, they're here to expand your self-awareness. What if, starting today, you asked, what do I feel? More often than what will they think? Building self-esteem, setting boundaries, and developing emotional control are daily choices made in small moments. Every time you act with authenticity, even imperfectly, your self-confidence grows and insecurity loses ground. So reflect. What would you do if you didn't have to please anyone? Which dream would you take back if you trusted yourself more? Emotional freedom is born when you choose yourself, practice self-love, and build emotional resilience day after day. If this message resonated with you, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and continue this growth journey with me.